It is Living the Run. We're not just chewing the fat, we're getting rid of it. We are your home for everything health and fitness. Living the Run is being brought to you by Running Warehouse, CrossFit Grover Beach, Artie's Pilates, and in partnership with the American Cancer Society and the Heal Slow Coalition. Here are your hosts for Living the Run, Ryan Ferran and Paul Tarek.
And welcome back to the healthiest hour on radio. It is Living the Run Health and Fitness on ESPN 1280 The Ticket. Glad to be here. I am Ryan Ferran, along with our producer extraordinaire, Max Woodcock, and my co-host, Paul. Oh, wait a second. Paul Tarek, MIA. No phone call, no text. Maybe he'll show up, maybe he won't. Your guess, as good as mine. He's done it before, Max, right?
That's correct.
Walk in 5-6 minutes late. Some excuse. Well, Paul, we hope you're okay. Give us a text, a call, something. Christmas card, Hanukkah card, Kwanzaa. Happy holidays. So maybe Paul will join us, maybe not. Person who will be joining us coming up next segment is Mike Hartman. Mike Hartman of St. Joseph's, former football coach and assistant track coach right now. At 32 years old, had a heart attack and is now recovering, lost about 45 pounds. Ran a half marathon since then, so we'll ask him, how does a heart attack come on at 32? What did his doctor say? And what is the recovery path for somebody who has a heart attack, and what do they need to do? We're also going to ask him, Max and I were talking last month about energy drinks and a lot of high school football players cramping on the sidelines. We'll ask him about what he sees for these high school athletes and football players, what they're sucking down at lunchtime as far as energy drinks and those sodas and maybe leading to those cramps. So very much looking forward to Mike Hartman. We're also going to talk some football, some recent news with him you may know, and we'll talk about the local CIF football playoffs as well. So very thrilled to have Mike Hartman on Living the Run Health and Fitness tonight. We'll get to him next segment. Also, we're going to run down our survey for the Best of SLO County Health and Wellness. That survey is taking shape. We'll get some more of your thoughts and input. We'll let you know what questions we have in that survey as we look to finalize that and get it out there so we can get the best of the best in SLO County Health and Wellness out to you. We'll also let you know about the Solstice Green Mixer coming up tomorrow night. And a little interesting news. It's kind of old, but I ran across a pretty good story recently on Facebook and checked it out, watched it, and it was kind of impressive. So, Max, if I gave you a bag of vegetables that was labeled Organic California Blend, where would you think those vegetables were from?
My first guess would probably be California, but in these days and age with labeling, who knows?
That's a good guess, and this is not a trick question. Yes, that's where you would think a bag labeled California Blend Organic would be from, but apparently Whole Foods, your California Blend, is actually from China. Unbelievable, right?
Because that's right around the corner, right?
Exactly. So I saw the story, I think it was last night on Facebook, and I did a little bit of research, and I watched it. It was done by an I-team, investigative local news team, not around here, but at a local news station somewhere, and they looked into it. It was 2008 or 9 that this story was out there, so I don't know if they changed their ways or that sort of thing, but it was very interesting. And a couple of months ago, I posted a story on our Facebook page about a similar issue happening in LA about the farmers markets, where a lot of them are claiming organic or no pesticides used, and actually some testing showed that was not the case. So it's kind of a disturbing trend we've seen the last few years. Both those stories posted on Living the Run Facebook right now to check those out. But man, oh man, I'm glad there's people investigating and looking into these things, because it's such a sham, such a scam that, I mean, California vegetable blend, and then on the back, small fine print, product of China. Really?
Is there no legal ramifications for throwing those sorts of names onto a package? I mean, can I put California Blend on something and sell it in New Mexico? And
it sounds like you probably can. I mean, there's so many probably gray areas with that. And the thing about, the vegetables were from China, and they're getting the USDA organic stamp on them, and that's the real, major issue I have too. It's like, it's not grown here. How are we giving it And apparently, according to the story, which you can watch, there's some kind of outsourced company doing the certification, and that's just, it's not what we need to be doing.
There's a writer out there named Michael Pollan who talks a lot about similar issues as far as attaining organic certification and what goes through it, and all those sorts of big name cereal brands that you always notice now approved by the Heart Association of America and stuff like that. All that stuff's paid for. You have to buy it. It's not something you're granted. It's something that you have to pay to receive. So, while there is a little bit of follow-up, there's not a whole lot once you get that seal of approval where they're coming and knocking down your door to make sure everything that you sell is organic or certified.
You bring up a great point, because a lot of the times, especially you'll find at locals farmers markets, the fact that you have to pay for that USDA organic stamp will shy away from some smaller farms who are not making a ton of money from getting the stamp, even though they are growing organically. So they'll put on their labels or at their fruit stand pesticide-free, something like that, but then they'll have to explain, look, we're pretty much organic. We're just not paying for the USDA seal of approval, that stamp, which is very valuable if you're a big company in stores, also valuable if you're a smaller farm in a market, because that carries a lot of weight. People look for that. You have it, I'll buy it. You don't, I won't. But it costs money. And it's like, oh, man, that's another that's a shame it costs money. I know there's a process that to pay people, but it's like, if that were free, probably we'd have a lot more organic farmers and a lot more organic products without all the chemical junk in there. So that is a very interesting point. So check out those stories. They're out there. I know there's a lot of going on now with the GMO debate. People want that labeled as well. Saw some good stories on that. So, people want to know what's in their food. We want to know as well. The GMO debate's interesting because I can kind of see their, the big business perspective saying if it's on there saying GMO, it might scare some people, but the research isn't there. I think the consumer needs to know. At least that's what I believe. Best of SLO County Health and Wellness Survey. We're putting it together. We have about 12, 13, 14 questions on there. We don't want to make it too long, but we have finalized the categories, about to finalize the questions for you. I'll go over those right now. And if you have any thoughts and you want a specific question asked about a area, topic, business that you want in the health and wellness poll for San Luis Obispo County, let us know. Text us 805-242-1280 or send an email to radio@livingtherun.com. 242-1280 is the number to text. Radio@livingtherun.com is the email. So we can't add every question out there, every type of business, but we're narrowing it down to about probably 13, 14 when we're all said and done. And it's subjective. It's what you think is the best. Things to consider would be value, customer service, knowledge, experience, those types of things. But again, you'll get one selection per answer, per question, I should say. There will always be an other where you can fill in the blank, because some businesses and some questions, there's way too many to get to. We're going to list a few to make it easy. That's where people will be upset because why wasn't my place or business listed in there? The answer is because we can't list them all.
The answer is it just wasn't good enough to make the cut. Sorry, people.
There you go. But there is too many. Some categories, there's way too many to list, so we're going to list 4 or 5 maybe for each question. But if you have another one that you don't see on that list and you want to vote for them, other than write it in. The poll will be on livingtherun.com when it is finalized. So here are the questions so far. Number 1, best gym.
We were just having this little discussion
before
the show.
We were talking about a gym that you haven't heard of that is in San Luis Obispo. So for example, for best gym, I have a few listed here. I have about 7 or 8. There's way more than that. So there's going to be a few people that I'm a gym owner. I own John Smith's gym, and I'm upset that I'm not in your 7 or 8 selection. Well, I can't put 20 gyms on there. There's probably more than that in San Luis Obispo County. So other and write it in. So that's how that's going to be done. But there will be some people upset, and that's fine. I can't please them all, Max, can I?
Now, there are some gyms that are, they're a little bit more
well-known, and those are going to be the first ones listed.
And there are gyms that are catered to certain genders.
True.
I'm not going to mention any names here, but those that that like to exclude certain genders, are they going to be able to make the list?
They are. And if they're not, even if they're not in the selections we provide, they can be a write-in vote. Equilibrium in San Luis Obispo. You and I cannot go there. but some women may think that is the best gym in San Luis Obispo County, so they can write it in.
It's probably where they all go to avoid getting hit on by all skeezy guys.
By Paul Tarek, that's where they go.
By me, maybe. Who knows?
That's the anti-Max and Paul gym. So those pervs can't check us out. Hey, can you spot me?
Can you look at my biceps while I do these curls?
So number 1 is best gym. Number 2, best yoga practice. 3, best health food store. 4, best chiropractic practice. Say that twice. 5, best fitness group or club. These would be things like the Slow Distance Club, Central Coast Triathlon Club, Slow Trail Runners, etc., etc. 6, best vitamin or supplement store. 7, best specialty or sporting goods store, kind of Big 5, Running Warehouse, Art Cyclery, etc. 8, we know what your vote is for this, so don't worry. Best media outlet for health and wellness info.
How many others are there?
There's a few. The TV stations, some of the papers, and of course, Living the Run.
Just general media in general?
Just kind of general, because some of the news stations have their own healthy living segments and stuff like that. None of them have an hour-long talk show with Max Woodcock, so, I mean, that's going to be an easy no-brainer for people. And if not, we'll just rig that, right? Just kidding.
By an overwhelming margin, Living the Run comes out on top.
Number 9, best personal trainer. That's one where I probably won't even list any. Just you, if you have one that you like and you would want to recommend, you hit other and you write them in. Number 10, best massage practice or individual. Another one we probably won't even list any. Just hit other and write in your vote. 11, best hospital. They get us back and running. 12, there's so many bike shops in the area. I'm really interested to see number 12, how that pans out. Best bike shop.
And there's like 4 or 5 in San Luis City alone.
Alone, yeah. So I'm very interested to see how that shakes out. 13, best healthy options restaurant. Plenty of those around in San Luis Obispo County. And then Paul's suggestion. Where is Paul, by the way? Still not here, is he?
Paul, no show, Tarek.
Wow, what a co-host. Co-host, not with the most. Best hiking, biking, or running trail. And that's what I have for the top 14. Max, would you add anything to that list?
That covers it pretty well. I was just trying to think of something else related to this area that's health and fitness specific, but it pretty much covers the majority of the topics.
Pretty complete. So if you have a suggestion, let us know. We'll probably release the final poll and survey next week. 805-242-1280 is the number to text, or you can email radio@livingtherun.com. All right, when we come back, we will talk to Mike Hartman, 32 years old and had a heart attack. He actually flatlined, died, and was shocked back to life. What is he doing now to get healthy? He lost 45 pounds, ran a half marathon. How do you go from heart attack to healthy? We will talk to Mike Hartman coming up next on Living the Run, Health and Fitness Radio.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Do you want to take a gym class but don't have the time? Or maybe you just don't want that smelly guy dressed in his 80s gear hovering over you in yoga class? Again. WeStreamFitness.com has more than 200 real-life gym classes that we shot and recorded, and they're available to you whenever and wherever you can log on. Choose from Pilates, yoga, Zumba, kickboxing, aerobics, or our always popular tab class, thighs, abs, and booty. Plus, WeStreamFitness.com offers live chats with trainers and other wellness experts. Full access is all yours for just $15 a month. So whether you're tired of that same old boring workout DVD, or you're tired of smelly yoga guy, check out WeStreamFitness.com. We stream to keep you lean.
If you're on the bench, get on the phone to a sports medicine specialist at Sierra Vista Regional Medical Center. Call us if it's torn, broken, strained, sprained, aggravated, aching, pulled, bruised, swollen, dislocated, or hyperextended. Sierra Vista Sports Medicine Specialists. For a free physician referral, call 800-483-6387. That's 800-483-6387. Sierra Vista Regional Medical Center. Top rate from top to bottom.
Running Warehouse is the fastest growing running store in the nation for all major brands of running products. including Asics, Brooks, Nike, Saucony, Mizuno, New Balance, and Adidas. Running Warehouse is focused on providing runners the best shopping experience available online, on the phone, or in our store. Running Warehouse offers top-notch customer service, an outstanding selection, an easy-to-use website, low everyday prices, plus free shipping and returns on deliveries made within the 48 contiguous states. Find out for yourself why Running Warehouse is the fastest-growing running store in the nation. Visit us online or stop by our retail store in San Luis Obispo on Suburban Road near Trader Joe's. Smart runners save cash at runningwarehouse.com.
Artie's Pilates Studio in Pismo Beach is a Pilates-only studio that uses the full line of Pilates apparatus. Whether you're rehabbing an injury, want to strengthen your core, relieve back pain, or just increase your energy and overall fitness, Artie's Pilates Studio has it all, including a full staff of trainers who are nationally certified. They offer private and semi-private lessons, plus group classes on the Pilates Reformer. Artie is even certified as a Pilates golf conditioning specialist. Artie's Pilates Studio in Pismo Beach. Call 773-3863.
A preventable epidemic in the U.S. is killing our family, friends, neighbors, and children. Over 2/3 of American adults and 34% of kids are overweight or obese, which can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and premature death. 56% of adults and 32% of 5th, 7th, and 9th graders in SLO County are overweight or obese. Healthy Eating Active Living San Luis Obispo Coalition, or Heal SLO, wants to reverse that trend in SLO County. What can you do? Help us fight the epidemic by joining Heal SLO or visiting www.healslo.com for resources or more information. Together we can work towards a healthier and brighter future for ourselves, our loved ones, and our children.
We're back with Living the Run. Here are your hosts, Ryan Ferran and Paul Tarek.
And we are back, Living the Run Health and Fitness Radio. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel. We videotape all our radio shows and put them up on the old YouTube channel. You can check out our most recent shows on livingtherun.com. Last week we had Samantha Pruitt on. She just did Ironman Arizona. She went from overweight couch potato to Ironman athlete. 2-mile swim, 120-mile bike, followed by a marathon.
That's so ridiculous.
We're going to see when Mike Hartman's going to do the Ironman triathlon.
Oh, man.
That is brutal. So that last show from last week is on there right now. You can check that out. Pretty inspirational stuff. She was kind of, as I said, overweight, couch potato, not really into much, and kind of a little bit moody, as she said, and now she is super in shape. I mean, just ball of energy, and an Ironman is just, I mean, I can't even comprehend that. Very impressive.
She's a great motivator, too. I feel like
is.
every time she's in studio, I feel a little bit more motivated to go out there and get it done. So,
but do you go out there and get it done?
Sometimes. I mean, I'm leaving here at about 8 o'clock at night, so there's not much to be gotten done at that point.
Gym's still open till 10 down the road. They never close the streets.
I'm more of an early morning workout than a right before bed.
Excuses.
I love them.
Tomorrow night, if you're interested, Solstice Green Mixer, 5:30 to 7:30 at Green Goods, located at 111 South Street in San Luis Obispo. Just a $5 donation, which will benefit Habitat for Humanity. The Solstice Green Mixers are pretty cool. It's a bunch of, not necessarily health and wellness folks, but there's a lot of massage, yoga folks there, and there are a lot of environmentally conscious folks as well. Kind of, as it says, it's a mixer, so talk to one another, then you kind of give a little spiel about yourself, your business, and that sort of thing. I've been to a few of them. They're pretty cool. So Solstice Green Mixer. Tomorrow night, Green Goods, 111 South Street in San Luis Obispo, 5:30 to 7:30. Mike Hartman, thanks so much for coming on and Living the Run. How you doing tonight?
Oh, doing well. Thanks for having me.
So let's rewind 2 years ago about, right, is when it all happened?
Late February 2 years ago. We had just gotten done playing some early morning hoops at the school, and went into the weight room with the football team, and just didn't stop sweating after the game, and started getting nauseous and not feeling very well, and just didn't quite know what was going on, and went, and my wife fortunately works at the school as well, and and I'm walking over to maybe get something to drink from the kitchen, and she goes, "You look horrible." I said, "Oh, I love you too, honey." And she goes, "No, you really don't look well." And I go, "I don't feel very good." And so we decided to go see my doctor, and we got to the doctor's office. I didn't know it was the flu or what have you. And the doctor took an EKG and said, "Well, I don't know what your heart normally looks like, but this is not a normal rhythm. And so we've called the ambulance, and we're going to get you over to Marion Medical Center." And I said, "Oh, okay. If I'm figuring, this will be a morning, and they'll tell me something, whatever, and then I'll go home and go to sleep, and I'll be good." And so I get to the ER, and they're doing everything, and I'm just sitting there, and some poor soul next to me is hacking, and it sounds like he's drowning on his own fluids. And I go help that guy. I'm okay. And the last thing I remember is telling my wife that I just don't feel right. And apparently the eyes rolled back in my head, and I started having a seizure, and the doctors all came in, and I stopped, and so they all left. And then she said I jackknifed up almost like in the movies, and gave some weird croak, and all of a sudden laid flat back down on the bed, and all the alarms and buzzers were going off, and I was in full cardiac arrest, and they had to come in with the paddles and shock me about 5 times, and try to get a rhythm back, and they rushed me right in, and I had a complete blockage of my left descending artery, which back in the day was known as the widowmaker, and the survival rate of a full blockage outside of a hospital ER is about 8% nationwide.
Jeez.
So I consider myself fortunate. And so they installed a stent, and which is they did an angioplasty. They basically snake a thing up through your femoral artery in your groin area, and they snake it all the way up there into your heart with a little balloon, and then they expand the balloon, and it pushes all the plaque and cholesterol up against the sides of your artery, and clears it out. And then they put a little they have another thing that goes up in there, and they basically put a little medicated tube that keeps your artery open. And the medicine in the artery, the medicine in the stent helps the blood flow, keeps it from clotting and whatnot. So I woke up, and the nurse said, "Well, you had a heart attack." I said, No, I'm only 32. And she goes, "Well, yeah, you did." So that was obviously a life-changing event. And so when the doctor came in afterwards to check on me, he said, "Well, we have to have a talk, and we have to change some things."
So what did you have any signs prior to that, as far as maybe not feeling so good, or any of those typical symptoms we hear about as leading to a heart attack?
No. I felt good. No previous health problems. I'm the type of guy that never misses a day of work. And so there was no, and then the symptoms right that morning, there are so many symptoms of cardiac distress that the squeezing pain or the pain down the left side of your body are just a few of them. Those are the ones that are most well known. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing that happened with me, besides I did get nauseous and I couldn't stop sweating, was I felt a real general weakness in my upper body and my shoulders. And so it almost was like my arms felt way too heavy. So it can be something as small as your jaw hurting. You'd think it would be a toothache. And so people need to understand that it's not just, oh, I feel this huge squeeze in my chest, I must be having a heart attack. You can have, there's so many symptoms that if you just sort of ignore them, oh, I'm a tough guy, or oh, I'll just feel better in the morning, or you could potentially be really setting yourself up for dramatic cardiac damage or even death.
In retrospect, did you have any of those signs leading up to that? Maybe is something that wasn't feeling right, and you're just like, whatever, it'll go away.
Looking back, I really don't think so. Like I said, I played basketball that morning, and
yeah,
gosh darn it, for as good of a basketball player as I played really well that morning. I'm not much of a basketball player, but I had a good game. So I had just gotten done for a half hour straight of full run in basketball. So there was no indications other than all of a sudden I couldn't stop sweating and I got nauseous after big heavy exercise.
What did your doctor say? Because the surprising thing is we hear about people having heart attacks, but we hear about them 40s, 50s, 60s, 32 years old. What did he say about why this happened?
He said I was too fat. I am a former college athlete. I played football and I wrestled at a small Division III school. And when you do those things, when you're involved in athletics, you have to keep your calories up just to perform, and I like eating. And so after my playing days were over, my activity level decreased dramatically, but my food intake did not. And so I had ballooned up quite a bit. My senior year in college, I was about 250 pounds. And then I had gotten up to as high as 275 after college, and I was pretty much, I'd lost some weight. I had settled in at about 265, and that had been my weight for a couple of years.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11", 5'10" and a half. I don't.
See,
6'3" in my college football program.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm 6'4". But I tell people, it's because you never seemed. I mean, you weren't like. You were obviously overweight, but you weren't like super overweight. I mean, I don't know if carried it well is the right term, but you didn't seem like super unhealthy or super overweight to me.
Yeah, there's you're just a big guy. You're big boned, or I was a husky child.
Yeah.
I had corduroy pants, and when my swished around down the hallway, my thighs would get hot. So there's I've never been a small guy. And so people never people come up to me all the time and say, well, you didn't look fat, or you didn't look like you were unhealthy. And you didn't look like you weighed 265 pounds. Well,
yeah,
but it did.
So what were the things that, do you look back, on your first 32 years prior to then, thinking it was, were you eating, burgers, or did you have was it just unhealthy?
The biggest thing that I had to change was my portion size. It wasn't that I ate poorly. I'm sure I didn't eat. I like meat, and I like burgers, and I like that stuff too. But I just eat too much of it. And so those were big things. The other thing I didn't even realize is that I had stopped eating breakfast. And my doctor, he said, no, you got to eat breakfast every day. And I said, well, why? And he goes, because it jumpstarts your metabolism, and there's what happens is if you don't eat, you wind up getting hungry, and then you overeat later on.
Exactly.
So, I got back onto the oatmeal and the bowl of Cheerios with some banana in the morning, and every day since.
So how do you go from heart attack to, we just mentioned you lost 45 pounds, look great, you ran a half marathon. What was your doctor's advice to, okay, you mentioned we need to make some changes. What were those changes, and what are you doing now?
The classic, eat less and exercise more. You can't stress it enough. Yeah. And I always consider myself a busy guy. And so I got all these other things that I'm doing. I have papers to grade from school, or getting the team ready for this, or, track practice or football practice, or doing something with my kids. And you have to make it a priority where you have to make time in your day for yourself and for exercise. And so that's one of the reasons why my wife and I, we started running. And we try to run together whenever possible. It's really enjoyable. We talk. I mean, we're not out there setting world records, but we're out there, and we we talk about our day, and it's brought us closer together. Just time together and talking about the day and plans, and and everything, and so it's really some of my most I really look forward to for those times over the course of the day, or every other day or whatever, where we get out and run. But other things, eating more fish, eating less red meat. I mean, I still like red meat. It tastes good, but just not nearly as much. Burgers. I love hamburgers.
Join the club.
Exactly.
And so, but just, I mean, now it's if I'm going to eat a hamburger, it's going to be on a very special occasion, and it's going to be a good burger. I've found that I've sort of, I don't want to say I've become more of a snob about what I eat, but if I'm going to eat something that's maybe not good for me, I want it to be really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
You get those fine cheeses on there, some nice, good grilled vegetables.
Talking to Mike Hartman from St. Joseph High School about going from heart attack to healthy. 32 years old, had a heart attack, and now he's running a half marathon, wants to run a full marathon. So what advice, Mike, would you give to those who are in your similar situation, or maybe in the situation you found yourself in a couple years ago? That former college athlete, used to be able to take in all the calories you want because you were burning them off, and then you find yourself early 30s not burning those calories off anymore. What advice would you pass on to others in that similar situation?
The first thing I would say, and I kind of, first of all, for me, running used to be something I had to do to play a fun sport.
Yeah.
Or running was punishment for when coach got mad at me and he yelled at me, take a lap, And so you have to kind of get over that a little bit, and not to offend all my friends that were cross country and track guys that really liked running, that we all thought were kind of weird because they liked running. But that was the first thing. Is gosh, I have to go run. Well, you don't have to do anything. You should want to do things, and it might not be running. It might be getting on the bike or getting in the pool or do something. But you need to find ways to build that into your day or into your week, your schedule, depending on how much of a schedule person you are. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to not be good at it right away. I know a lot of people that say, well, I don't want to run that unless I can run the whole thing. Well, who gives a rip if you can run the whole thing?
Right.
Walking is not a bad thing. And so when my wife and I started training, she ran the rock and roll marathon down in San Diego last June. And so we sort of started this training together, and the first things we did were just walking, and then we'd walk for a minute and run for a minute, and then you'd walk for 2 minutes and run for 2 minutes, and then you'd run for 2 minutes and walk a minute. And even today, when we go on we'll go on a 10-mile run, we'll run for a good amount of time, and then we'll walk for a minute or two, and it's okay. I think people want to be, I want to be Ryan Hall right off the bat.
Right.
Well, guess what? You ain't Ryan Hall.
Exactly.
It's okay to fail at stuff. It's just getting out there and doing it, and you'll or my knees hurt. My knees hurt. Well, you know what? My knees hurt when I first started running too, and about 4 months into it, all of a sudden my body, my weird gait, and stride change, and my knees don't hurt anymore. It's you can get through stuff. It's important that you do those type of things.
Good advice from Mike Hartman, who we are talking to on Living the Run Health and Fitness Radio. We will continue the conversation. We'll also talk a little bit local football. Why is he no longer the coach at St. Joseph's High School? We have to have the conversation. Hopefully I don't give you my full opinion, because I may get in trouble. Not you, Mike, but out there. And we'll get his predictions on some of the local high school football games coming up this Friday night. More with Mike Hartman on Living the Run Health and Fitness Radio right after this.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
So, where's the best place to be this summer? Oh, I can answer that. Out front, leading the way with Ford during the Best Place to Be sales event. Ford is only the best-selling brand in America. Cars, trucks, SUVs, crossovers, everything you'd expect from a leader. They've got the Explorer, the brand new Focus, the Fiesta, the Fusion, the Taurus, all with innovative technology. Sync, EcoBoost, Active Park Assist. Of course, everything is very fuel efficient. I'm telling you, the Ford Best Place to Be sales event now happening at Malahi Ford in the village of Arroyo Grande. It really is the best place to be.
What's up? AJ Allmendinger here. When I'm on track, there's nothing more important than having my car in tip-top shape. And you shouldn't settle for anything less either. That's why I recommend taking your vehicle to Malahi Ford for all your servicing needs. Whether it's an oil change, tune-up, new tires, or major repair work, Malahi Ford is the team you want handling your vehicle.
So visit Malahi Ford in the village of Arroyo Grande and you'll be a winner too.
Malahi Ford, where good things are happening. Stop by today.
Your weekend warrior may take biking, surfing, and other sports to extremes. And when he knows excitement, make sure you know the way to the Sierra Vista Emergency Room. Our professionals are on staff 24/7, boosted by technology and expertise that can help ease the pain of a wipeout. The Sierra Vista Regional Medical Center Emergency Room, ready for you round the clock. Just off Santa Rosa Street at Murray in San Luis Obispo.
2 out of 5 people say that they would try harder to be greener if environmentally friendly products and services were easier to find. Where can you find an organic cafe or Whole Foods market? What about a great foot massage or acupuncture treatment? How about eco-friendly gift ideas for any occasion? If you are looking for valuable tips and guidance to live a healthier and more earth-conscious Central Coast lifestyle, pick up your seasonal copy of the Solstice Green Directory at over 500 locations or visit slowsolstice.com.
Running Warehouse is the fastest growing running store in the nation for all major brands of running products, including Asics, Brooks, Nike, Saucony, Mizuno, New Balance, and Adidas. Running Warehouse is focused on providing runners the best shopping experience available online, on the phone, or in our store. Running Warehouse offers top-notch customer service, an outstanding selection, an easy-to-use website, low everyday prices, plus free shipping and returns on deliveries made within the 48 contiguous states. Find out for yourself why Running Warehouse is the fastest-growing running store in the nation. Visit us online or stop by our retail store in San Luis Obispo on Suburban Road near Trader Joe's. Smart runners save cash at runningwarehouse.com.
Artie's Pilates Studio in Pismo Beach is a Pilates-only studio that uses the full line of Pilates apparatus. Whether you're rehabbing